Hello everyone, I'm Brian, welcome back. Hopefully we can finish this in one take, if not it's going to be two more.
Sadhguru, in your AV, you said it was difficult for you to plant trees in people's mind, and then rest of the thing just happened. So I want to ask, how do we plant this seed in their mind that females need to flourish as females?
Oh, that's a good question. Because that is needed, honestly. just certain aspect, obviously, but obviously we have to have a balance of both the feminine and the masculine. Just because I don't know if I'm right in this. Just let me know if I'm wrong. I assume like the masculine is very logical, cold. It builds society, but it's very cold. I don't know what's the right way to interpret it, but the feminine brings beauty to that, make things worth living, you could say. I don't know if I'm right or wrong on that one. That's how I've thought about it so far. It's like the man's very cold and logical, but the woman is maybe illogical, but there is very beautiful because this art's subjective. So that's I don't think subjective things are logical, but that doesn't mean there's not a beauty to it. I guess I need to get. I wonder if Sadhguru has a definition for that.
See, you don't have to plant it in their head, you have to plant it in your head.
But like I said in my first questions, yes, we can do it at our part, but then there are people, there is society, there are ways that people judge us.
See, don't think there's no judgment for a male. Don't think there's exploitation for a male. It is there. It is just that for a woman, unfortunately, any little exploitation takes on a sexual tone, all right? That is the ugly part of it. Otherwise, don't think men are not exploited. They're exploited in many different ways, ask him.
Oh man, this might be a two-parter because again, this is the thing that's going on also in something that's going on in America where a lot of the extreme feminists, I say extreme because they generally have an extreme point of view, tend to thinks that men have like always had it good throughout the world when in reality it's not. They don't. They always find a way to blame men or to pass fault to men. It's like, oh well, they're dying in the jobs. Well, that's their fault. It's like these things are needed to survive. To let society function. If they don't do it, who's gonna do it? No one. But the thing is, we can appreciate the different things that men and women do, and just learn to appreciate those things. But instead, we're just blaming. It's really bad.
No, that is why a lawyer is successful, because somebody is exploited, isn't it?
I want to say thank you, sir, for saying this.
The problem right now is, we are still in such a consciousness, anything that's weaker than us, we will exploit. Man, woman or child or animal. Yes or no? Anything that is weaker than us, because still we don't have brain in our head, we still have muscle in our head, okay? The muscle should transform into brain cells. Then we will see that for you to succeed, you don't have to really exploit anything, actually. In fact, if you get the love and cooperation of everybody, you will succeed even better. I will tell you an example. I am doing a program for one of the top international companies, one of the top companies. 25 of their top executives are there. It's a 3-day event. I have 9 volunteers. I don't know if you noticed our volunteers here, without one instruction, they just go about doing everything that needs to be done. If something is not done, I know it could not be done. There's no question of somebody did not do it, because we built such a force. So they watch these 9 people moving around, then they ask Sadhguru, where do you get such people? Because they're always looking for attrition, Then I said, you don't get them, you got to make them. How do you make them? I said, you have to make them fall in love with you. Oh, how do you do that? I said, first you must fall in love with them. Then they say, wait, Then they say, oh, they don't pay us for that. So, when money is the only ruling factor in your life, you're like a circus monkey. If you give a banana, you will jump, otherwise you'll simply sit, all right? So if you're not a circus monkey, then you will see exploiting is not a good thing. If everybody falls in love with you, how easy and wonderful it is to work.
I had this discussion with a friend of mine about, it's like, well, why don't you do this little extra things? Like, well, it's not my job description. I'm like, is that the kind of workplace that we're gonna have? I mean, don't get me wrong. Certain things you can say that too. Whenever I guess they become exploitative for you, for when you start asking for your things that you're not necessarily supposed to do. Like, if they ask you every once in a while, yeah, that's fine, It's like, well, that's no problem, let me take out the trash or whatever it may be. But then all of a sudden it becomes a normal thing. It's like, wait, you need to find someone to do this job if there's something that's required. Either, pay me more because that's an extra duty I'm doing, or, find someone to do that job. But it's more along the lines, nope, not in my job description. So they deny it. Like, if it's every once in a while kind of thing, I get it. But if it's something that's repetitive, then I think it's legitimate at that point.
When people hate you, when they resent you, they will make your life miserable, believe me. They will make sure, won't you? When you're resentful about somebody and you have to work for them, won't you make sure their life is miserable? Yes, this is why people are thinking work is so stressful, because everybody hates them. If they create a really loving and inclusive atmosphere around them, where everybody senses there is no sense of exploitation, see, I don't exploit anybody, but I work them to death. But before that, I'm working myself, people are afraid I may kill myself, so they're also trying to catch up, there's no problem. If I sit like this and make you work, then you will come up with something else to make my life miserable. When you see you're only emulating me, then why will you feel exploited? I make them work 7 days of the week, 18 hours a day, non-stop, day or night. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll call them and saying, do this, do that, do that. Because so many things happening. You see, you're joining up, so I'm telling you.
I can link you, sir.
So, exploitation is a silly way of doing things in the world, unintelligent way of doing things in the world. Inclusiveness is the best way to do work in the world. If you think your work is important, if you think what you're doing is important, people come to me always, we are a volunteer organization, over 4,600 whatever, full-time volunteers and over 9 million part-time volunteers. Every day somebody comes up to me and says, Sadhguru, I can't work with this person, she's terrible, he's like this, he's like that. I say, see, in this world, there are only these kind of people. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, only these kind of people. If you think what you're doing is very significant, you have to work with these kind of people. But if you think you want to work with ideal people, you must go to heaven and today. Yes. If you think what you're doing is very significant, you will work with whatever you have. If you have donkeys, you'll work with them. Yes? But you have not realized the significance of what you're doing, now you're busy complaining about everything. This doesn't mean everything around me is perfect, but everybody is doing their best, that's all.
That's why I always try to be nice with my coworkers. I'm always nice, I always… like, anytime they act mean… I have never had anyone act mean, honestly. Well, there's one. But I don't know why yet. But anyways, but everyone else and all the people I've met throughout most of my life have always been nice, but I've always been nice back, because you can say life is terrible as it is, why make it worse by making another enemy? So I always try to be nice and just kind of poke fun of the situation or just joke around a bit, make light of the matter. But yeah, just to make the day a little bit more fun and whatnot.
Sadhguru, when he talked about social media, in social media one thing is very much important and one thing is very much spreading. Is like certain news are there and they are just forwarded to certain groups, and then certain other things have occurred. In one of the video, you also gave certain example for an explanation for mob lynching also. I won't go into that because you have already answered. But people think that these messages are like real ones and they just try to do what the message says. So one person, one I think ladies, Madhusudanji has asked this, that is there a line of separation between the thinking and overthinking, or rather there is no line of separation, or it's just a mental thing?
See, I don't know if you've seen the byline for Youth and Truth, it's not here. No, not that. We're talking about exploring truth, not with the seriousness of a gospel, but with the playfulness of gossip. Gossip has been the most reliable system of seeking truth. Yes or no?
This is a very tricky one, I'll say, because gossip tends to be… it can be anything, false or true. But I think what Sadhguru is getting at here, which is what I do, this is the reason why I say, consider what people say. It could be completely false, it could be completely true, but you do not know. That's why you consider what they say, then fact check it. Or just consider what they say and say, I'm not gonna disbelieve it, nor am I gonna believe it. Or you could say, this is what I believe, this reinforces what I believe, but I still don't know if it's true or not. I mean, it just leans towards some more believing, but mind you, the key word is believing, but I do not act upon it being true. This is the distinction that I have whenever I say I believe in something versus say, this is the truth. When I believe in something, generally means I do believe it to be closer to the truth, but not the truth. I don't know what the right word to say that. Other than, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the absolute truth, but perhaps it is a truth somewhere. But again, it can be swayed back to, okay, maybe it's false. It's just the fact that it's hard to get all the facts, and perhaps I think the reality is we cannot get all the facts. It's probably very difficult to get all the facts in every scenario. There are some scenarios that you could probably can, and there's going to be probably a lot more scenarios where you cannot. You're not there, you didn't watch it happen, so all information is secondhand. And at that point, it's just a matter of how much you want to believe either way. But just understand that it's a belief, and the fact that you should allow it to swing back the other way if necessary. It's never something that's rock hard solid that never moves from that spot. It's the truth, the only truth, and no other truths. You are extreme at that point because you didn't witness it yourself, and even some people who witness this, they still get it wrong sometimes. But yes, whenever you hear something, seek out the truth. Don't accept it as truth. Consider it, but seek out the truth.
If whatever the official thing comes out, you will ask around your friends and best neighbors, what happened, is this true, what happened, what happened? Everybody says 5 different things.
Yeah.
Then you find your own filter for that and arrive at, okay, this is what should have happened. So social media is new. What it means is, gossip has gone global suddenly. Gossip was always there, locally. Was there or no? Ladies, tell me. Because more people confide in you, because man is walking like this, nobody wants to talk to him. A woman is paying attention and walking, so they will talk to her. Gossip has always been there in every society and it's a reliable thing. But now suddenly gossip has gone global because of technology. Now this globalization of gossip has caused a little bit of disruptions, and the scale of things that happen is little disproportionate to what we were used to earlier. Because by the time we tell 10 people, it would have died down. Today, one forward, boom, 250 people got it in the town. It could incite certain things. Well, it's been misused and it's been used, all right? Many people have used it well. Some people have misused it. This is true with any technology, anything.
Like a tool.
Right now we can use this vessel to store water, or I can take it and smash it on your head. So now shall we ban all the copper vessels because somebody's skull got cracked? Shall we? No. So we have to bring culture the society. It's not going to happen overnight. Educate and evolve the society. If it's going out of control, maybe little enforcement. But just clamping down on anything and everything that causes little damage, this has happened. See, Mysore, Bangalore, for example, I'm from Mysore. Right from my very young age, even when first time I went to Bangalore on my father's scooter without him knowing. When I was just 13.5 years of age, I got enough money, I put gas and zoom, I went to Bangalore, made a circle there and came back all the way. It was a single track road going like this, like that, with potholes, everything. And many of the times I had to ride standing because of various things. One was height. So, now they made a 6-lane highway, all right? Later on when we graduated into motorcycles, if we thought about it, we just boom, boom, we went 1 hour, 35 minutes, 140 kilometers we did and came back. But now they put a 6-lane highway. And in the villages, traffic started moving fast. There are lots of villages, they did not bypass the villages because of whatever, land acquisition and stuff, because they went on expanding the existing road. People get killed crossing the road, unfortunately. Lot of pedestrians get killed in India because they don't know where to cross and they can't judge the speed, or they're just so full of themselves, they come in the way and they expect somebody to stop, all kinds of things. So they went on putting road hump, road hump, road hump. In 142 kilometers of road, they put over 120 road humps. So you got a 6-lane highway, you cannot even get to third gear. Boom, boom, duk, 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 boom, 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 boom. What is the point of a highway? Huh? We could have a mud track. Why are you spending money on the highway? When you put in 140 kilometers, you put over 120 road humps. Now by High Court order, it's all being removed. But villages will put up their own thing. They will not learn how to cross the road. They will put up only road hump. So this culture must go. Some damage happens because of somebody's irresponsible action. Instead of fixing that irresponsibility, we want to destroy the possibility. How many good things have been done on social media? Yes? Many wonderful things have been done. But now somebody gets killed because of somebody's mischief. So we want to ban that. This is not the way to do things. This is not the way to take the nation forward.
Real quick question here. I do wonder what his thoughts are on… I don't know if he answered this, I can't remember. But there's big talks about gun control. Again, this is also my perspective on it. A gun is a tool, and you're punishing good people for the things that bad people do. I understand both perspective, obviously, and this is like a very hard line because what people in America don't see is these things, these guns, are protecting people who live in really bad neighborhoods, or people who have abusive people in their lives that they need that protection, and their houses in bad neighborhoods being robbed, and they use that to protect themselves because cops aren't going to be there in 5 minutes. 15 minutes, I heard, is the national average. And that's if they can get there in time or if they care sometimes. I mean, you know, it all depends. Generally speaking, I hear 5 minutes from Sadhguru, was it? But I think the national average is 10 to 15 minutes. Which is, I guess, pretty good. But still, and then there's people who live in like country areas where, you know, they have rifles because they have boar problems, so wildlife issues. Where when they have their kids playing out in the yard and all of a sudden there's a bear or wild boars, that you know, a small caliber gun is not gonna deal with the issue, and you want to protect your family and perhaps your livestock and your family pets and stuff. And I mean, this is the thing that people that live in the city don't have to deal with, and you don't see at all. And especially good neighborhoods in big cities too, they don't see violence because there's cops everywhere. The bad people don't live in good areas, but you know, and they have this kind of, and this is why I see that there's like a blindfold to them, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, we don't need this and that, and we don't need that because we got cops, and yet they're sitting there thinking, look all the some of the bad cops that have done what they've done. You know, it's like, you know, if you take away the guns, then this is the big thing that the right pushes. The government will, you know, be able to overcome their population very easily because they're disarmed. I'm just kind of curious as what his perspective is with gun control, and is it going to be the same as this one, where you don't blame the entire society based on the bad few actors? And if people are really in America, if people are really want to end death, cars kill more people than guns do. If you remove self like that, the number of killed by guns goes down. That's what I heard. I think most of the gun killings are from people doing that to themselves, basically, which is still sad, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's a little hard to believe if people really genuinely wants to stop violence, that removing one tool will stop it. It's not. There's a whole bunch of, I won't say a whole bunch of illegal guns, but it's very easy to get a gun illegally through illegal matters in here. And you can't punish the rest of the population because of the bad few. And if they really are worried about innocent people dying, why aren't they talking about cars? Car deaths is, I think, second highest. I think first highest is cardiovascular disease, which is fast food and stuff like that. Car next, and then guns. Guns is third. But I think it drops if you remove self like this. I think it becomes number 4 at that point. I don't remember. It drops down significantly, though. I would be curious as to what Sadhguru's answer would be on that.
It doesn't matter, some people pay the price, unfortunately it is true, but we must bring more responsible usage of that rather than simply banning this, banning that.
Well, there it goes, actually. And real quick to that one, I wonder why they don't build a bridge that goes over or under the highway. That way, you know, there's a safe passage to walk across it. I mean, I'm sure it costs quite a lot of money, and it's not too easy to do, but I'd assume it'd be something that's worth looking into. I don't know which one would be cheaper, going over or under.
One more question that came over the social media was, you told Ranveer that ambition is limited. It is a thought and not worth investing our life in it. Without goals or commitment or destination, how will I even take my next step? And you also had the goal of Dhyanalinga. I'm really confused.
One part of that we've already answered about. See, what you call as ambition is essentially a thought that you generated, isn't it? How did you generate this thought? Maybe people around you influence. And above all, essentially, your ambition or your thought is only coming from the limited data that you already possess. Yes or no? Do you believe, many of you are in 20s or early 20s, do you believe everything that you need to know about the world, all the possibilities that life may hold, you already have collected data about it? No. With what little you know, if you fix your life's goal, I think that'll be a poor life. Right now, you are in college, you can fix a goal. Within the stipulated period, I want to get out of the college. Not too early because they threw me out, not too late because I didn't get out. Yes, within the stipulated period, I want to get out. How I want to get out, whether I want to get out first class or first this, that, how much I should know, that is a goal you can set. Because already it's a structured time. isn't it? Already it's a structured time. In this structured time, you set a goal. But you don't set a goal for your life, ruling out all the possibilities that may open up. So if you decide right now, this is what I'm going to become. I was talking about that in terms of, this is a problem in our families, in Indian families. A 3-year-old child, they will ask, what do you want to become? That tiny little girl says, I want to become doctor. Oh, they're so happy. This is rubbish. Why a 3-year-old girl is being made to decide what she should become? We don't know what's her genius, yes? What talent she has, what genius she has, you don't know. But instead of seeing how to unfold that, you're fixing that so early on and ending up with a very constipated life. So the important thing is, human beings have immense potential. If this has to unfold, one important thing is, you create a situation of balance and pleasantness within you. That means you're peaceful, joyful and balanced. If you're like this, every human being has a certain genius and this will start unfolding. When it unfolds, it will surprise everybody. Right now the problem is this in the world. Not even 1% of human genius actually blossoms. Rest get trapped in these kind of systems and systems and systems all over the place. Somebody gets trapped into earning a living, somebody gets trapped because they fell in love too early, you know. Something or the other, they get committed to something. So ambition means you got committed to a single idea which came from very limited data in your life, isn't it? Don't get committed to a limited idea. Limited ideas are okay, short term. Right now I'm here for 5 years in this university, this is what I want to do in these 5 years, this is okay. But life must unfold, you must give it an opportunity to unfold. Only reason why you're committing yourself like this is, you're afraid of uncertainty. You think certainty has come because you pegged it there. I'm going to be a doctor at the age of 3. And you feel there is a certainty. This certainty is death-like certainty because it takes away all possibilities. It's important for a human being, life should be explored, many possibilities. Only then human genius will unfold and we have multifaceted human beings in the country. Otherwise, this has been our problem because we are concerned about earning a living. There was a time where everybody was a doctor in this country, now everybody is a software engineer in this country. This is not the way to go. If it's needed, we'll do that, that's not the point. But the important thing is, human genius must unfold. If you destroy that because you fixed a peg in your life, it's very unfortunate.
So I'm wondering if he's saying here that that if you… I wonder if this is okay. If you get a job, but you don't peg yourself to it, as in you're just doing this just to make a living, and maybe it becomes the thing that you want to do, that you flourish in. And if it's not, then you're still open, but you still have to make a living. But it's just not to peg yourself at something to the point where it's like, I have to get this, I have to do this, I can't do anything else, I don't want to do anything else. This is certainty, even though you hate it. But maybe perhaps you go and say, like, I'll work this job for a little bit. If it works out, that's great. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And if I still stay here and all of a sudden I see another job that I'm interested in, it's like, oh, that actually is a job that interests me, then I'll apply for that job. You don't peg yourself into, I'm going to be a doctor, so you're a nurse assistant, then a nurse, then a head nurse, then a doctor's assistant, then a doctor, even though you're not liking the job that you're going to, but you're going for something that's certain. Nothing's really certain in life, but you think it's certain because you pegged it there, like Sadhguru was talking about. So I'm assuming, keyword there, that it's okay to get a job so long as you don't peg yourself into that position. Obviously, we have to work and we have to make money to make a living, to buy food, clothes, and shelter, but not to peg yourself into like a certain career goal and not be open to other possibilities that could be better for you. Okay, I will make this a two-parter. I'm sorry about that, but I talk too much because he talks about good stuff that amazingly is so relevant in current time, which is probably not current time when you're watching it. and I do have an issue with talking too much with. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. Sadhguru talks about good stuff, and they ask good questions, you know. And it's really weird that that the topics they talk about then is still happening today, and it makes me wonder if in the past, I wonder if these are some of the topics that are being discussed as well. Now, obviously, we have some videos of the past, and it seems still relative for the most part today. I mean, obviously, with technology changing things, questions change a little bit. But there are still certain things that seem to just been sticking around throughout the generations. Well, anyways, that's at least the end of part 3. Hopefully, the last one will be the last one. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.